वेलकम टू वेदादी क्लासेस। वेदादी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। टुडे वी विल स्टार्ट क्लास 11th, some basic concept of chemistry, empirical formula and molecular formula. So the topic is empirical formula and molecular formula. So what is the empirical formula? What is the molecular formula? Let's I just like to give you one example first. Have a look here. This is C6H6. It is known as benzene. And this is C2H2. This is known as ethine, or we say acetylene. So, but if you just write, if you want to write the simplest ratio of this one, then what it will come? Simplest ratio. Then it will come CH, and its simplest ratio is also the CH. No? So here the concept. This is the concept. Concept is what? Ki first you have to define what is the molecular formula. So molecular formula is what? Molecular formula. So molecular formula is basically true formula of the molecule and actual number of atom of various element present in one molecule of the compound. What do you say? Actual number of atoms present in one molecule. Present in one molecule of the compound. And we can also use exact number of same thing. Exact and actual are the same thing. So this is the molecular formula. So in benzene there is 6 atom of the carbon and 6 atom of hydrogen, so it will be the benzene. But it will be the 2 atom of carbon and the 2 atom of hydrogen, it will be ethine or acetylene. So this is the molecular formula. This is the molecular formula of benzene as well as ethine. Now, what's about the empirical formula? So empirical formula, we can say the simplest ratio, the simplest whole number ratio of the atoms. Simplest whole number ratio of atoms in one molecule of the compound. In one molecule of the compound. So this is what? Simplest ratio. The term what I used over here, I used the term simplest whole number ratio. So if you just take the simplest ratio of a benzene, then it will be CH, and the simplest ratio of ethine, it will come also the CH. So CH is the simplest ratio of benzene as well as of the acetylene. So this is the empirical formula of benzene as well as ethine. So simplest ratio of 2 or more molecules may be same, but molecular formula must be different for the different molecules of a compound. Yeah? But the simplest ratio or the empirical formula of 2 or more than 2 molecules, 2 different molecules of the compounds may be same, as we have as in the case of benzene and ethine, both have the same simplest ratio. So empirical formula is the same. So this is the empirical formula and the molecular formula. Now what? Now we have to move towards a relationship. So relationship is how the molecular formula and empirical formula is interrelated to each other. So molecular formula is equal to n into empirical formula. So what's the n over here? So n is what? N is integers, we can say, or the whole number. N is equal to it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, anything. So it may be 1, 2, 3. It depends what it comes. So n is what? N you can write here the n. How you just find the n? So there is a way to find the n. N can be obtained. Molecular mass. There is one more thing. Molecular mass. This is a new formula. Divided by empirical formula mass. Empirical formula mass. So this is a relationship you should keep in mind. So what the molecular formula? So this is equal to n into empirical formula. And what is the n? So the value of n may be 1, 2, 3, 4. And so n is molecular mass. How you can calculate the n? So n can be calculated by to find out molecular mass and empirical formula mass. So this is the thing you should keep in mind during the solving the questions. Now have a look here. What's more thing required? So to find out empirical to solve the questions related to empirical and molecular formula, you should also know to find out number of moles. So number of moles is what? Number of moles is equal to, as we already know, is a given mass upon molar mass. So if the atom is atomic mass, the molecule is the molecular mass, as we already discussed in the earlier videos. Number of moles. Now there is one more thing. Let's move towards some question. So you'll get the idea how to solve such type of the question. So I just like to take some question, but okay. So let's take some question directly. So suppose there is one question. They are saying that there is some salt having Na is 29.11. Sulfur, they have given the composition of the salt. I'm not writing all the whole question. No? So you should. I'm just writing the values of the questions and what the question states and what the demand of the question. So sodium, they have given the mass of the sodium 29.11. Sulfur, the salt. This is the salt. Which of the component? Sodium, sulfur. Sulfur is 40.51. And oxygen is 30.38. Now you have to calculate empirical formula of the salt. What you have to calculate? The question is asking calculate empirical formula. Empirical formula. Sometimes we can also write as EF, empirical formula. Molecular formula. So molecular formula, it can be written as MF. So you should keep in mind. So whenever sometime we use the term EF and MF, so you should understand molecular formula and empirical formula. Now what you have to do? So you have to make such type of column. Okay, now so you just make just like this. Here we just write the elements and so elements are sodium, sulfur, and oxygen. And their percentage of element, the percentage given is a 29.11, 40.51 and 30.38. Okay, then what you have to find out? You have to find out number of moles. So what the number of moles is? This is the number of moles. Number of moles is given mass upon, this is the percentage is we have to take in the term of mass, given mass. So always you should keep in mind the percentage we will take as a mass. So number of moles is given mass upon atomic mass. Acha, we should know the atomic mass. So for the sodium we should know the atomic mass is 23, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16, just like this. Now find out the number of moles. This is the column for the number of moles. So the number of moles, I will just get it. Given mass 29.11 divided by atomic mass of the sodium is 23. Now again number of moles of sulfur, then this is equal to 40.51 divided by 32, and this is 30.38 divided by 16. So when you solve this, you have to solve it. When you solve this, then what will come? So number of moles in this case will come 1.266. In this case it will come 1.266, and in this case it will come 1.897. Now what? Now you have to find out simplest ratio, simplest molar ratio. What a simplest molar ratio. So how you just find out the simplest molar ratio? So what you have to do, you have to find out which is the, out of these three, which is in less in amount. So less in amount is 1.266. So you have to divide all these values by 1.266. So like in this case, in first case, the value is 1.266 divided by 1.266, because the lowest value is 1.26. In both the cases 1.266. So this is the 1.266 is the lowest value, divided by 1.266 and divide 1.897 by 1.266. What will come? So the simplest ratio you will get in this case is 1, in this case is 1, because it will cancel each other, and in this case it will come near about 1.5. Now this is the what the formula for the empirical what the definition for the empirical formula? The simplest whole number molar ratio. Simplest ratio, but that must be in whole number. So this is in 1.5, so you have to convert into the whole number. So what you have to do is just multiply all the values by 2. So it will come 3, by multiply 2 it will come 2, multiply 2 it will come 2. So thus here we write what? Simplest whole number molar ratio. Simplest whole number molar ratio. So it will come 2, it will come 2, it will come 3. So how you just get the empirical formula mass? So empirical formula. So how you get the empirical formula? So empirical formula is equal to sodium is 2, then Na2, and S is 2, S2, and O3, then O3. So this is the empirical formula of the salt having 2 sodium, 2 sulfur and 3 oxygen. So this is the way to find out the empirical formula. Now sometime in other type of the question, I just like to give you, if we have to calculate the molecular formula, so if they are asked you to calculate molecular formula, calculate molecular formula, and they will give you some values. So how you just get it? So let's take one example. With the help of example we can solve the formula, because we have the all the concept regarding this. This is only the concept we have, like molecular formula is equal to n into empirical formula, and n is equal to molecular mass upon empirical formula mass. So if you want to find out the molecular formula, then first you have to find out the empirical formula. Then you also have to find out the n. N is what? Molecular mass. In most of the cases it will given to you. So molecular mass, and whatever the empirical formula you will get, then put the values of the atomic masses, then you will get the empirical formula mass, and divide the molecular mass with the empirical formula mass, you will get the value of n. Put the value of n over here, you will get your molecular formula. So let's take one question. So the question is just like this. Then question states that a compound have, this is from the NCERT question. So a compound have contains hydrogen. How much hydrogen? 4.07% of hydrogen. And carbon is what? 24.27% of carbon. And what? And chlorine. They have the chlorine. What the percentage of chlorine? And this is an atomic form. So you should be very careful. So you should not write the Cl2 or the H2 just like this, because that will be molecular form. So we have to take the values are always will given in the atomic form, elemental form. So it will be 71.65%. So this is given to you, and they have given one more thing. They have given the molar mass. Molecular mass of this compound is 98.96 gram. Then what the question? They are saying calculate. First question, empirical formula, and second one, molecular formula. So let's solve this question. So first you will make the same thing just like this. Wait a second. We will make some column just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. So here we will write the elements they have given. So what are the elements they have given? Carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine. Here we will just write the percentage they have given. How much? 24.27, and this is 4.07, and this is chlorine have 71.65%. Now atomic masses you should keep in mind. Atomic masses for the carbon is atomic mass 12, hydrogen is 1, chlorine is 35.5. Now, so what you have to do? The first you have to find out number of moles. As I told you, number of moles is given mass upon molar mass. As I told you, the percentage will be used as a given mass or the mass. So in this case, then first case, the number of moles of the carbon will be 24.27 divided by molecular mass of carbon is 12. Again 4.07 divided by 1 atomic not the molecular, is the atomic mass of the carbon is 12, and the hydrogen atomic mass is 1, and the chlorine have atomic mass 35.5. So first find out the number of moles. So what the number of moles? It will be here. So now when you calculate it, so it will come 2.02 and 4.07 around, and it will come 2.02. Now what the next column? Next column I told you what is this? This is the simplest molar ratio. So simplest molar ratio. So what I told you, how just find out the simplest molar ratio? Then out of these three values, number of moles of these elements, which is the lesser in which is less. So out of these is the same. So this is the lesser one is the 2.02. So divide the values number of moles by 2.02. So in this case 2.02 divided by 2.02, it is the 4.07 divided by 2.02, and here the 2.02 divided by 2.02. Now when you solve it, it will come just like this. It is cancel is the 1, and it is near about it is 2, yeah, and it is cancelled, so it will be 1. So simplest molar ratio, you got it. So simplest whole number ratio, there is no need to find out, because this is the values are already in whole number, so we have not to move towards the other values. So this is enough. So with the help of this, you can find out empirical formula. So empirical formula of this compound will be: carbon is what? 1 carbon, hydrogen is 2, and a chlorine is 1. This is the empirical formula. Now you got the empirical formula. Now to find out the molecular formula, you have to find out the N. So N is what? N, I told you, N is molecular mass, or the molar mass, which is already given upon empirical formula mass. So empirical formula is this one. You have to find out the mass. Carbon is 12 plus 2 into 1 plus 35.5. So when you solve it, so the empirical formula mass will come 49.5. Now molar mass is already given in the question. Molar mass is what? Is the 98.96 is given. So find out the N. So N will be what? 98.96 divided by 49.5. When you solve it, it will come approximately 2. So N is 2. So what the formula to find out the molecular formula? Molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula. So molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula. So molecular formula is equal to N is what? 2. N is what? 2. And empirical formula is what? Empirical formula is CH2Cl. This is the CH2Cl. So multiply with 2, then it will come C2H4Cl2. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. You got it. This is the simplest way to find out the molecular formula if the molecular mass is given. Nah? Sometime is what? There is a thing, if they will not give you the molecular mass, they can give you the vapor density. Nah? So if they will give you the vapor density, so you should know a relationship over here. Wait a second. If they will give you the vapor density of the compound, so there is a formula: molecular mass is equal to 2 into vapor density. Nah? Okay. So if in place of molecular mass, suppose in place of molecular mass, they have given the vapor density. Nah? So suppose they have given the vapor density of the compound near about 49.5. In place of this, suppose in place of this, they okay, if I remove, then you will get distracted. In place of molecular mass, suppose they have not given the molecular mass. In place of molecular mass, they have given you the vapor density. Vapor density, and the vapor density, suppose they give you 49.5. Nah? So you have to find out the molar mass first. So molecular mass is what? What I told you, what the formula of the molecular mass? So molecular mass will be equal to 2 into vapor density, and vapor density in this case, suppose they have given 49.5. So 49.5. So it will come what? So twice of this one. 49.5, 0, 998, 449 is 98. It will 98. Nah? So you have to take the value of 98. Sometimes approximations we use. Like 49 as we have used over here in place of 49.5 and this is 98.96, then approximately we have taken it the 2. We don't take the exact value. So we just take in the whole number ratio, in the whole number, and the whole number is what is if 2.01 or something like 2.02 comes, and we consider the 2. So such a type of the question will come from empirical formula and a molecular formula. I hope you will able to solve such type of the question when it will given related to molecular formula and empirical formula. So in the next video we will solve some next other concept of some basic concept of chemistry. Till then, take care. Goodbye.